The community-based population level activity centers around a fictitious situation where a community's drinking water is polluted. Now, you could envisage this might be um, a developing country situation um, where in many cases, the water supply is actually constructed downstream from where people actually live and where the toilets are, etc. Or it could be you could imagine that it was a situation in rural Australia in some cases where artesian water is used to as a water supply. But in any case, the main objective is to reflect back on our definition of health promotion to work out what sort of things we might do in terms of applying the Ottawa Charter. So the challenge is to go back to the diagram of the Ottawa Charter and work out the types of things that you might engage in as a health promotion person. Now, I suggest you hit the pause button on this video just to give yourself time to work out, to have a look back at the Ottawa Charter diagram and work out the sorts of things that you might engage in. So now that you've had time to reflect, the first part of the Ottawa Charter for Health Promotion is looking at the range of roles of the health promoter. And if you'll remember, there's an advocacy role, there's a mediation role, and there's an enabling role. So the types of things that you might engage in terms of advocacy is to lobby politicians or through the media to change perceptions of the particular issue, so the water supply. The second process is to persuade, for example, ministries, people in ministries, or even the minister at a political level or at an organizational level to cooperate, and then to develop solutions to problems, to enable the community to actually solve its own problems. So the second part of the Ottawa Charter gives clues as to how we might go about enabling the community to improve this particular situation. So in terms of the first element, which is building healthy public policy, we might develop a policy which actually mandates clean water for the community, so that we have a policy framework to which we can work. We then need to create a supportive environment so that the community actually has the ability to actually meet this policy mandate. And an example of the type of thing that one might engage in is to network various communities with the same issue, so that we actually build the capacity of the community to act on this particular issue. Now we might strengthen community action by organizing the community to, for example, fence off the area. Now this assumes that epidemiologists have identified the problem for the water supply being there's some sort of contamination flowing into the actual water reservoir. But once this is established, then we again mobilize the community to actually participate in the solution. And here is a clear element of health promotion, that is, rather than actually fencing off the area oneself as a health promotion strategist, the health promotion action, the proper health promotion action, is to enable the community to actually do the job itself. Now, there's also an improvement of personal skills element, where we need to make sure that people recognize, the community recognize that, in fact, safe drinking water is a priority, and there are certain ways in which we can acquire water and treat water so that it's safe for consumption. And then the fifth element of health promotion is to reorient health services. So we might, for example, the epidemiologists might say that, in fact, part of the source of contamination of the drinking water is fecal contamination from wildlife. And so We know that health workers don't generally work in monitoring wildlife, but there's a whole other government section that actually attends to management of wildlife. And so the challenge then is to liaise or collaborate with that other part of government to make sure that when they act, they actually incorporate elements of human health to their action, so that whilst the health sector is not acting directly on this, they enable other sectors within the government to work towards health outcomes.